All right, here we go. We are back. We had a week off. This one's on me. All the other late stuff is usually Mike's fault, but this one, we like to joke. We like to joke, right? Mike's late. Mike didn't. All on me, 100%. Hudson had a busy week. Didn't get Intern Inspo out, but it's coming out this week. We got it right now. You're watching it right now. And does that mean that this episode is going to be 2 times better than all the other episodes because we missed a week? No. No, it doesn't mean that. Is it going to be our normal Intern Inspo episode? Yeah, definitely. We do have a special guest in this episode, though, so be excited for that. But first, we're going to head to a little corner, a meme corner. Let's go right into that. Welcome back, everybody, to Meme Corner. It's been a while, but you know the deal. This is my Christian meme corner where I look at Christian memes and I show them to you right about here. This is about the area where I show you the memes. Memes will go right here as I read the memes. Mike, the memes better show up. Good job. Here we go. Let's take a look at some memes. Alright, it's meme time, everybody. Let's get right to it. Those people who only come to church when there's free food, and it's an Adventure Time meme. Gotta love Adventure Time. I love food more than I love people. Classic. I mean, and can you blame them? Food's great. Food's better than people. Food's better than most people, especially better than Mike. All food is better than Mike.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Alright, next meme. Here we go. When someone catches you falling asleep during church, and it's someone who passed out right below a picture of Jesus, pointing directly down at where her head is, and it says, Jesus like, what is this? What is you doing? What is this? That's a pretty good meme. I like that meme. Okay, we're on a roll now. 2 memes. 2 memes down. Here we go. Next one. We got an engagement happening here. And it says, everyone else at my Christian university already getting engaged. Obviously, I went to a Bible college. I know what this is like. They say ring by spring. You meet somebody, you get married immediately. That's how it works. And then me. And it's a child kind of eating spaghetti. Basically just licking a meatball. And that pretty much sums up the 2 sides of a Christian college. If you ever considered wanting to go to Christian college, you might get married. You might sit alone eating spaghetti. I mean, those are the 2 options. That's how it works. Next meme we got. A video meme. Mike, can we do video memes around here?
We can.
Mike says we can do video memes. We're going to do it. So we got, it says, let the tech team, when the pastor says, let us pray at 11:59 a.m. Wow, the tech team's celebrating because the pastor is on time, exactly on time. They're surprised, they're shocked. Wow, okay, what celebration? All right. Babylon B post, here we go. Worship leader late to church after repeatedly driving over bridge. Classic for those of you who don't understand how worship works. How it works is you take a song, right? You take a worship song and you sing it. And then you get to that bridge, that bridge, and you just sing it a lot. You sing it over and over and over again. That's how worship works. Not actually. Sometimes. How the Spirit moves. Alright, this is a pretty good meme. Memes for Jesus coming in hot. And it's Skipper from Penguins of Madagascar as the pastor's kid. And he's running the church volunteers. The church volunteers are all in line following the pastor's kid, Kowalski, Rico, and Private. Very, very good. I mean, the Sassmans really do be like that. You know, Sarah Sassman be running the place. Shout out. And our final meme of the day is actually not a Christian meme. It's not a Christian meme, but I think it's an important meme to share. And it's this post that says, that mini heart attack when you can't feel one of these in your pocket. And we all have that heart attack, right? When you reach in your pocket and you can't feel your wallet. Your wallet was supposed to be there, right? It's not there. Your car keys. That's a heart attack. Like, oh, where'd the keys go? Oh, mine are right there. Perfect. Whew. Your phone. Everybody knows this one. When your phone isn't in your pocket, it's a mini heart attack. You're like, oh, where'd I leave that? That's a big deal, right? And then finally, your McChicken. It's a heart attack when you're just so used to having that McChicken in your pocket. I know Mike always has a McChicken in his pocket, without fail. So I know Mike especially relates to this meme. He needs to have his phone, wallet, keys, and McChicken, and that's just how it is. And that's it. We're done. We're done here. We're ending on that. Don't forget your McChicken, people. You need to have that in your pocket at all times. Let's go back to the desk, because I'm done. I'm tired of this corner. This corner is dark and scary, despite the bright light that's shining at my face. This corner's getting decrepit. Mike keeps making me go over here. All right, back to the desk. Yes, those sure were memes. Those were memes indeed. And now we're going to transition into something I'm personally extremely excited about. We have for you another episode of Storytime. We did this once before, and it starred Benny Fisher featuring Justin Fisher, and it was electric. Electric Storytime. But this time, we have a new special guest. Today's Storytime is brought to you by Melissa Gay featuring Christian. Let's get right into this. I'm stoked. You should be stoked. Let's go.
It's story time.
Well, hello there. This is Melissa Gay. I'm joined with
Christian Gay,
and you are visiting us for story time with Christian and Melissa. We have a very special story we're excited to share with you today. The title of our story is How to Impress Boys. It is by the anonymous MBG. It's a classic. It's a classic story. We're glad you're joining us for this. Okay, so we're gonna get started. So once upon a time, there was a girl named Shalissa. Shalissa was in love with a boy named Tristan. They were young, they were kids, just barely out of high school, and she loved him very much. So one time, Shalissa and Tristan, they went on a boat with a bunch of friends when they had first met each other. And what did they see while they were on the boat?
Water.
What else did they see while they were on the boat?
A big cliff.
A big cliff. As they were floating in the boat, they came up to a place where people were jumping off a cliff. And Tristan thought that jumping off the cliff was the coolest thing ever. Shalissa could see that it was that he really liked it, but Shalissa had never jumped off a cliff before. Had Tristan jumped off a cliff before?
And Tristan had jumped off many cliffs, off this specific cliff even.
So Tristan said to Shalissa, "Don't worry, I'll show you how to do it." So Shalissa said, "Okay, Tristan, I love you so much. Let's give it a shot." And what did Tristan say?
Let's go!
Let's go! So when they got to the very top of the cliff that they had to swim through the cold water and climb up,
There was lots of people running and jumping off this cliff, and it wasn't like 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet. It was 40 feet in the air. And as everyone was jumping off, they all looked like they were having a really good time, and it seemed pretty easy.
so Tristan said to Shalissa, "It's easy. All you have to do is
Jump out.
jump out." And Shalissa said, "Okay, I love you." So Tristan made sure to jump first to tell Shalissa how to do it.
All you have to do is jump out.
So
Just
what did
jump
Shalissa
out.
do? She jumped out.
But as she jumped out, she literally jumped out, Supergirl style, and as she flew through the air, her arms were flailing and she knew things were not going in the right direction. She tried to catch up and get closer and closer to the water, but as her body was still flat, she could not get straight. And as she finally hit the water, she just had her knees first to her face. Smash.
Oh no, Tristan said.
Oh,
no. When Shalissa finally surfaced up on the water, everybody was looking over her, worried.
We're so worried.
Worried. What did she say? But she was fine. As they got back into the boat, Tristan looked at Shalissa and said, "That was awesome." He immediately fell in love with her, obviously. Obviously. What a babe. And they lived happily ever after and had 4 babies.
4 babies.
4 babies.
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard. This may or may not be a true story. So, my friends, lesson number 1, boys are easy to impress. Lesson number 2, jump out, then up. Then up. This has been our edition of Storytime with Christian and Melissa. We hope you've enjoyed yourself. We'll see you next time.
That was electric. Yes, what a great story. That was very funny. Shalissa, I mean, come on. You gotta jump up and out. Come on. Silly. Very silly. And 2, yeah, boys are pretty easy to impress. I mean, that was great. That was great. And now to wrap up this episode, the long-awaited episode, only because we missed last week, we are going to head into a segment that we call The Psalmist Says What? All right, welcome everybody. It's The Psalmist Says What? We've done this before. We're doing it again. We're back. So how this is going to work, I'm just going to take a look at a psalm and we're going to talk about it. So we just wrapped up a big question series in Connect recently where we got to ask and answer some big questions that you guys had and talk about why these questions show up and what we should do about these questions and what we do with the answers. And so I picked out this psalm because I think in the beginning of it, David asks some really big questions to God, and I think it's a cool reminder. So I'm going to read that and we'll talk about it. So Psalm 13 says, "How long, Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I wrestle with my thoughts and day after day have sorrow in my heart? How long will my enemy triumph over me? Look on me and answer, Lord my God. Give light to my eyes, or I will sleep in death, and my enemy will say, I have overcome him, and my foes will rejoice when I fall. But I trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing the Lord's praise, for he has been good to me." So David, he's clearly in this state of confusion and struggle, right? To the point where the very first thing that David writes here is, God, are you going to forget me forever? David feels some sort of abandonment. God has left him alone. How long will you hide your face from me? That's the second question. How long must I wrestle with my thoughts and day after day have sorrow in my heart? How long will my enemy triumph over me? So David feels like he's in a losing situation, and I'm sure that's something that all of us are at least kind of familiar with. I'm sure you are quite familiar with feeling like nothing is going right. You just had the worst day, the worst week, the worst month, and just nothing is going your way, and you can't figure out why, and it just feels like you're alone. It may even feel like God has abandoned you. And so David asks these questions, right? He's in the middle of this this situation, yet he still turns to God to ask him these questions. Even though he feels completely abandoned by God, he goes, hey God, why did you do this? Why are you leaving me? Are you going to forget me forever? He directs his questions toward God, which is something I don't think that we do enough. When we feel like God isn't in our situation, why don't we just try to bring him into it? He was in it to begin with. I'm not saying he actually left you, but what if more often we decided, I'm going to bring my problems with God to God? See how that changes things. And then David basically asks God, he goes, look on me and answer. Give me light to my eyes or I sleep in death. He's basically just saying, like, God, give me the answers I need. To respond to me. I need you to tell me. And then he wraps up this short psalm by saying, but I trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing the Lord's praise, for he has been good to me. In spite of the clear pain and bad situation and abandonment issues David seems to be facing, he still chooses to directly proclaim that he's going to trust in the unfailing love of God, that he's going to rejoice in the salvation that he's already provided to him, and that he's going to continue to sing in the Lord's praise. And in spite of the bad situation he's been in, David wraps up this psalm by recognizing that ultimately God has been good to him. See, despite the terrible situations that we find ourselves in, God can be nothing but good. I mean, he's provided us with so much, even when things seem terrible, bad, unfair. We still have so many things in our life that we have to be grateful for, to thank God for. So, when you're in a situation, when you're in any situation, but especially one that, like David finds himself here, turn to God. Ask him the big questions. We got a chance on Wednesdays for you guys to ask us some questions, but we don't want that to be where it stops. Continue to bring your questions before God. He won't let you down. David, despite his terrible situation, rests in the love and the salvation and continues to sing his praise. I hope you do the same. Peace. And that is it. We're done. That's all we got for the long anticipated episode 14 of Intern Inspo. Only really long anticipated because we missed last week, but that's okay. We'll get back to our not so regular schedule this coming week. Intern Inspo, it's coming out. Trust me, it's going to happen. We're going to get back into the swing of things, no doubt. And as we've hinted a bunch on Wednesday nights, there is a season finale in the works for the end of this season of Intern Inspo. It's coming out to you mid-June, so keep an eye out for that. It's going to be electric. We're excited. But until next week, stay fresh, cheese bags.